Well, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you had an excellent Christmas. Santa Claus, a well-known model railroader and member of the North American Model Railroad Club, has delivered 4 P42s. We've done several before, so this is going to more be like a quick review. We've covered P42s over the history of the channel several times, but what we're doing today is looking at the most recent release. 4 of the 5 Athearn P42s with the anniversary schemes has delivered, so we'll take a look at these. And all of them equipped with Tsunami 2. Now, that is just a box lid. That's just a box lid. That's just a box lid, but this is an actual unboxing here. The others are already out. So let's see what you get in the box starting next. Okay, if your dealer keeps it the way it comes from Athearn, you'll have this cardboard protecting the box to keep it from shelfware. Athearn's been doing that for a very long time, as long as I've been in the hobby. Genesis label there with the updated branding, slightly different. 1-year limited warranty card. AMD 103, P40, and P42 DC exploded parts diagrams. Speaking of which, there are several more coming, including the Operation Lifesaver and other variations, including just the Phase 5 P40s. Athearn newsletter and the manual. Tsunami 2 logo there on the front. 18 pages of information covering CVs, DCC functions, etc. Inside here, you'll find an antenna and a couple extra ladders. Looks like a wind deflector as well in this parts baggie. Spare parts or parts to configure in different variations. I know the ladders had popped off on previous versions pretty easily, so maybe that's why they're including a spare ladder. I don't know. Standard Athearn blister packaging with the hard plastic along with the soft plastic. They did add truck immobilizers in there as well. These little plastic things to keep the trucks from bouncing around too much. And there you have the first of 4 schemes. So real quick, I'll show you all 4 together, and then we'll look at each one, including this one, which I've already found a little problem with. Okay, there are the 4 units. As you can see, number 108, connecting America for 50 years. Obviously, this is the 50th anniversary of Amtrak. I believe 2023, possibly 2022. I'd have to look it up. There is what they call the Pepsi can logo, which a lot of people said the gray was off. It looks like they've corrected that on that one. Then you've got Connecting America for 50 years in the Phase 5 appearance there. And Phase 1, number 161. So those are the 4. We'll take a look at the Phase 5 first. Now, one thing I noticed right away on these is the heft. They are significantly heavier than previous P42 versions, so that is good. The modernized antenna array on the top with the configuration of Sinclair and just the cone antennas on the roof. Separately applied windshield wipers, number 46 on the nose. The headlights, marker lights, and ditch lights do light up. I've already had some of these out of the box and playing with them. And then you've got MU receptacles immediately below that. The snow plow with grab irons, the window for the accessory hoses, MU hoses, silver tipped ends, and then the brake line hose running diagonal up front there. McHenry couplers still, which are the plastic couplers by Athearn. You got that bolt nose on the front, the more modernized nose on those P42s. Wind deflectors and plastic inserted windshields. Step ladder is laying in front of the trucks. I believe I'll have the radius on the locomotives in my spec sheet that I show you at the beginning with the quick stats. But overall, those are going to limit that radius somewhat with those stairs. All sorts of vents along the side, including dynamic brake fan vents. And then on the back, you've got the radiator fan vents and the radiator fan up top, exhaust towards the middle. The Connecting America for 50 Years is right there. Nice print, Amtrak logo, nice print. There's a little bit of haze in between the blue and the silver. If you zoom in, it's not a very clear line, but it's not bad. I don't want to go too far because go past infinity focus, but it's a little more pronounced than I've seen in previous versions, so I would call that an improvement on the paint job there. You've got the horn and some hatch and roof detail, including lift rings molded into the top there. And here is the kind of somewhat glaring error that I found compared to prototype photos. The number 46 on the real thing is more in line with these grills here. It's probably lined up with the top third. This one's displaced quite a bit and is up significantly from the real thing. So that 46 should probably be close to a quarter to a half an inch lower than it is on the model. We're not talking scale, we're talking actual, like, real world quarter of an inch lower. So it's a pretty decent misplacement of that decal, but it's up to you guys on if it's a big deal or not. Some modelers are like, OMG, other modelers are like, no big deal. That's why I just report to you guys the facts. Obviously, fuel tank detail towards the middle. On the back end, you've also got red marker lights. You have the rear lights. So basically, when it's in forward, those rear marker lights will light up here and here. And if it's in reverse, then the front marker lights will light up red. And then you've got the rear door access along with coupler cut lever. Oh, I don't know if I actually see a coupler cut lever, but I do see the MU hoses and the MU receptacles back here. There's also crew grabs to get into the rear door access. There's a door outline in between the 46 and the Connecting America for 50 Years, I should say. And more grabs along the front here. So really, overall, it looks like a well-executed model in terms of detail, with the exception of that decal placement on these. Here's kind of a side profile of the nose and a little view of the front trucks there, so you can see all of the detail. Now we're going to give you a head-on, and then we'll move on quicker through the other ones so you can see the other versions. Alright, here's Connecting America for 50 Years 108. Different scheme, obviously, with a different antenna. Probably same antenna configuration. Antennas are painted a different color. Get some black and silver and white there. And then the color scheme's your main difference. Other than that, I don't know if there's any real spotting feature differences. I don't believe there is, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, because there's always an Amtrakiac, whatever you want to call them, telling me I've missed something. So check that side. And basically a 360 so you can see what you're getting if you decide to get these. Now, these were in pretty high demand and pretty highly anticipated because they were running super late. So that means they're probably going to be close to sold out, but I think you can find them in stock at some online retailers, maybe your local hobby shop. I know Trainworld was still advertising as of the day of this video that they had them in stock. Here's the Pepsi can scheme, if you want to call it that. More of the same in terms of detail, but the scheme is obviously different. And one of more favorites of the fans, I believe, is the scheme. People really like that. See, it's number 160. And just a nice 360 on this and give you a head-on view of that one. Last but not least, I believe is phase 1. And again, nothing to report in terms of differences that I'm aware of other than the scheme, but again, I could be wrong. There might be some nose differences. I know some of the noses are different on some of these models, or some of the real versions, I should say. Obviously, where your road number placement's going to be different. Some have white background, some don't, but there is a 360 of 161. Now, I did notice 161 seems like it has a very slight number placement difference, but I can't, when I'm trying to compare it to real photos, it's really hard to tell, but the other one is clearly misplaced on number 46. So I know the next question is going to be, what do these fatties weigh? If they're anything like me, they packed on a few pounds compared to last time. Me, it's because of Christmas. But for these guys, it's probably just a product improvement by Athearn. We've got 24.1 ounces. Santa did not bring me a scale to where you can see what I'm saying, but we'll just go with it. 684 grams, 1 pound, 8.1 ounces. So significantly hefty for this locomotive. You're talking about over a pound and a quarter. Maybe a pound and a half. I don't know. I can't remember. Is it 16 ounces a pound? So probably a pound and a half. Pretty hefty, nonetheless. You don't have to take my word for the pull test. We've got this to where you can see it. 3.5 ounces, we'll call it. It's bouncing around like a rabbit on drugs, but 3.6 ounces, something like that. So that's about 50 freight cars, but Amtrak P42s don't pull freight cars unless there's something crazy going on, so they're going to be able to pull your Amtrak Superliner consists or your Horizon coach consists, no problem. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fire this up here so you can hear the startup sequence. So I've switched to the Pepsi so you can see that. A lot of people like that scheme, as I mentioned before. I've got the manual here because I'm not sure what all features this has. So we're just going to go off the functions listed on the manual. Obviously, 0 is always headlight. That's working fine, but I'll show you more of that in the dark. 1 is bell. 2 is horn. I will say I like the bell and the horn. I think Soundtracks has done some tweaking with Tsunami 2, maybe improved speakers of sugar cubes perhaps, make that sound good. F3 is short horn, and that's always very responsive, which is nice. Each push is just a short blast. F5 is lighting effect, which we'll go over in the dark. 6 is lighting effect, we'll go over the dark. 7's dimmer. It's also cab chatter. It's pretty low cab chatter, hard to distinguish what they are saying. F8's mute. F9 is half volume or mixer. As you can see, that just jumped down. You can probably tell with the horn a little bit there. I'll jump it back up. F10 is straight to 8. Takes quite a bit to get ramped up on that. We'll bring that back off. You'll notice it's not just jumping back down, it's gradually going back down. 11's brake set, brake release, we'll skip that. 12's brake select, 13's couple uncouple, we'll hit that one real quick. 14's half speed and momentum override, 15's handbrake, I'll hit that one real quick. 16's HEP mode on and off, 17's fuel loading sequence, 18's general service, 19's straight to idle, 20's auxiliary HEP generator or steam generator, 21 and 22 not used, 23 all aboard, which is really fitting on this one. 24 and 5 are auxiliary lighting effects if equipped, 26 is engine RPM notch up, 27's notch down, 28's not used. Emergency stop has an emergency Mars light if equipped, these do not. So that is the 28 functions of this Tsunami 2 decoder. Okay, we're going to do slow speed control, and we're going to show you what it's programmed out of the box right now for scale miles per hour. People always comment that this is on kilometers per hour, but it's not. It's on HO scale and it's on miles per hour. It's just a status light blinking down by the kilometers per hour area. Pretty good slow speed control here, a little lurch. And we should be getting a reading any second now. And 1.4 scale miles per hour, pretty good for out of the box programming. So as you can see, that is 1. It's not going to let off completely on the lurch until about 3, it looks like. I'll go back and show you that at 3, and then I'll slowly go back down to 1. As you see, we're now lurch free. If I go to 2, this is out of 128 speed steps on my NCE Pro Cab. Still pretty smooth. And 1, doing a little better in reverse than it is forward. I am seeing a tiny bit of lurch there. So Genesis drive is typically pretty good. It's well known for being smooth. Okay, now I'd like you to focus on the middle 2 locomotives. We're going to turn on the headlights so you can see what they look like during the day. Ditch lights, what they look like during daytime operations. And reverse lights, red will illuminate. It is on function 6. It is default unless you turn function 6 on or off. So there's the red lights. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the lights off so you can see that. Okay, you can see the red lights a little better now that we've killed the lights. Going to kill them all the way. There's your marker lights on the front. Headlights when you go into forward. Ditch lights when you go into forward. When you blow the horn, here's alternate flashing ditch lights. Very clear yellow LEDs. If I didn't know any better, I would say incandescent, but I know Athearn has upgraded to LEDs. People have asked about lit number boards. That is on function 25. Keep in mind the other 2 locomotives are not powered. This is just to line up all 4 so you can get another look. I'm going to kill the lights so you can see the lit number boards again. Pretty good on those. A little bit of shine through on the right edge of the right locomotive, number 108. But again, that same color temperature, and with all the color temperatures matching between the headlights, ditch lights, and number boards, That's nice as well. Here is the rear marker lights in case you wanted to see those. Rear headlights in case you wanted to see those. I believe that wraps up the lighting functions unless I'm missing something. One of the viewers asked about ground lighting, the truck lighting that's right above the trucks to see if there's movement the crews can tell at night. There is no ground lighting that I can find on here. I've tried function 24 and 25 and 5 and 6 is listed in the manual, so if it's there, it is not listed or I haven't found it. So I do not believe there is ground effect lighting on these locomotives. Okay, I think that's going to wrap up this review of the P42 from Athearn. A very fresh December 2023 release with the 5th scheme, the missing scheme coming out supposedly in spring of 24. Overall, nice locomotive in detail, weight, pulling power, functions. The only negative that I've been able to find is the misplacement of 1 or 2 decals on number 46 and possibly 161, but definitely 46. You're staring at it right now. Other than that, pretty solid locomotives. You be the judge. And, you know, obviously a lot of people would like KD couplers instead of plastic couplers. A lot of people would like ground effect lighting. Things like that are going to be modeler preference. I just give you the facts. But these locomotives are out now, so get them while you can. They go pretty quick, in my opinion. If you're going to want them, you're going to want to get them now or chase them down later on eBay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. We'll leave you with a run-by. Take care.
Many of the products you see in this video are available at Trainworld.com. Since 1968, this family-owned business has been serving the needs of the modeling community with 2 New York brick-and-mortar store locations in Brooklyn and Long Island, plus their vast array of online items. Shop 24/7 at Trainworld.com.